Speaker, graduate of Mississippi State, serves as a sports writer and prep assignment editor for the New Orleans Advocate. Also covers the Saints, the Pelicans, LSU, whatever else he can find time to do in a day. Previously wrote for the Clarion Ledger in Jackson. Saints have won 6 straight. They're 6-2, play at Buffalo Sunday. Pelicans back in action tonight in Indiana. Please give a warm welcome to Rod Walker of the New Orleans Advocate. Rod?
Thanks for having me, Ken. First, I want to encourage Mason to hurry up and get that journalism degree or whatever so he can come and help me out a little bit. I got some notes and stuff just because so many numbers with this Saints team. I know I was up here this time last year talking about the Saints and was struggling trying to find something good to say about the team. We were really, struggling last year, so it's sort of good to be back and talk about something positive in New Orleans pro sports. As you know, they won 6 straight games now, and I remember the first game of the season, they were playing the Vikings, and I was in Minnesota with a couple of my co-workers, and we were walking out of the stadium and thinking, man, here we go again with another year like this. And somehow this team's turned the corner, and surprisingly, it starts with the defense. That's what everybody's been harping on. They were playing a Tampa Bay team that was averaging 376 yards a game, and they were able to hold them to just 200 yards on Sunday, which is really impressive. And when you talk about that defense, I think the guy that's made a big difference, and in the past we've kind of complained about how the Saints have done in the draft, but you think about Marshawn Lattimore and what he's been able to do at cornerback. He's really been able to just shut the opposing receivers down. I was looking at a stat the other day, and it was actually this morning, and he is leading the league in pass rating against him. It's a 34 pass percentage against him. I mean, he's just really shutting people down, and that's made a difference. And even more surprising, he's leading the league in that category, and Kenny Vaccaro is actually 4th in that category. So you got 2 guys who, obviously, Ken is a safety, but he comes in and plays that slot guy sometimes as a cornerback, and he's shutting guys down too. And then up front, you got Cam Jordan, who's really been impressive, having almost a defensive player of the year type year. And what's made Cam really good, I think, is that you have Alex Okafor on the other side who's really playing well. And this defense has really just improved a lot. Dennis Allen's done a really good job with it. Just one of those numbers I want to mention to you is that this team has 23 sacks already this season. And last year they had 30 for the whole year. We're just at the midpoint of the season, so that tells you how much this defense has improved. This defense last year finished 27th in the league. Right now they're 15th in the league. So that also shows the improvement of this defense. 9 interceptions. This team has 9 interceptions already. That's how many they had all of last season and all the year before that. So just all across the board, from the front of the defense all the way to that back line, they've really improved on that side of the ball. Going over to the offense, another rookie that's really playing well is Alvin Kamara. He's been a great compliment to Mark Ingram in the backfield. Drew Brees obviously is doing his thing as always. He's completing 71% of his passes, which also leads the league. So he's doing well. And I think something that we don't really talk about a lot is the offensive line. They've had some guys getting banged up all year, but Teron Armstead got hurt on Sunday, but they've been able to reshuffle this line. And although they're getting sort of thin there now, they've been able to make the adjustments, and they haven't missed a beat, despite the injuries up front. Special teams, I guess if you want to complain about something, that would be the thing to complain about on this past weekend. They had a couple of muffed punts, so Willie Snead dropped one, and Ted Ginn Jr. also dropped one. And that's something that Sean Payton addressed on yesterday. That's something they really want to fix. It hadn't come back to bite them really yet, but eventually as the season goes along, those are some things you have to fix. Looking ahead, I want to talk about Sean Payton a little bit because I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but he got his 100th regular season victory on Sunday and his 106th overall victory. And he passed some pretty impressive coaches. He passed Vince Lombardi in the wins, so that's pretty impressive to know that Sean Payton surpassed Vince Lombardi in the wins. And he also passed former Raiders coach Tom Flores in victory. Looking ahead to this week to Buffalo. As Ken told you, I'm from Mississippi, born and raised, so I've been checking that Buffalo weather forecast all week. I'm not looking forward to that. Temperatures look like they're going to be in the 40s or maybe even 30s with some rain, and we all know how the Saints tend to do in those kind of weather conditions. So I know that's something they'll be addressing this week as far as just trying to handle those weather conditions. And Buffalo's played really well at home. They're undefeated at home. They lost to the Jets on Thursday night, so they've had some, 3 or 4 extra days to prepare for this game. So this will be a big test for the Saints. Buffalo's offense is, they're sort of struggling a little bit, but they're a team that just kind of grinds it out. And Tyrod Taylor's the quarterback, and he's having a decent season. So this will be a tough game for them, especially considering they're on the road in Buffalo. And something else that local fans may want to look forward to is that Marshawn Lattimore was named the Defensive Rookie of the Month in October. But in September, Tre'Davious White, who played at LSU, was the Defensive Rookie of the Month. He plays at Buffalo, so you have 2 of the top corners in the league on the field on Sunday. So that's something that local fans they'll find interesting. And switching over to the Pelicans a little bit, they're 5-5 right now, 10 games into the season. The past 2 years, they were 1-9 after the first 10 games, so that's definitely an improvement. But if you look at their wins, their 5 wins came against teams with losing records. Their 5 losses came against teams with winning records. So, but on the flip side, they are 4-2 on the road, which is impressive. And for the NBA, the road wins are really hard to come by. This will be their first chance to get above 500 under Alvin Gentry if they can win tonight against Indiana. Indiana has a couple of injuries with some key guys that won't be playing tonight, so this is a game that the Pelicans probably should win. They come back and they're on the road. They play Toronto on Thursday, and then they come back home and play the Clippers, who've been really good this year without Chris Paul being, Chris Paul has been traded to Houston. So this is a Pelicans team that's, we still don't really know how good they are or how bad they are yet. They're just kind of right there. So these next few games will maybe tell us a little bit more about them. I want to talk a little bit about DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. They're having a tremendous season, both of them. DeMarcus is actually in the top 20 in the league in scoring, rebounds, block shots, and assists, which is pretty impressive for a guy who plays center for this team. And Anthony Davis is also playing well. Those 2 guys are 5th and 6th in the league in scoring right now. So they're playing well. The key for this team is going to be what those other role players can do around them. And, they've been sort of up and down. Drew Holiday's had some good moments, but he's also had his share of bad moments. And so they'll need to get some more contributions from their role players. And I think we'll get a better gauge of this team once Rajon Rondo comes back. He's been injured, obviously, and that'll allow Drew Holiday to move over off the ball a little bit, and Rondo can play the point, which is his position. And we'll see what that team stands there. So that's about it on the Saints and Pelicans. Anybody have any questions?
You said about Rondo. When does that look like? Who's going to be back? Include?
He seems like he's getting closer. They haven't given us a definite timeline yet on how soon they'll return. But I'm thinking it'll be sometime the next 2 or 3 weeks, I would assume, and we'll see how much that helps with this team.
I'm going to give the Pelicans a little love. They're missing 2 starters. Everybody forgets about Solomon Hill, probably the best defensive player we have. Your comments?
Yeah, that's a valid point. Dante Cunningham was filled in that position, and to be honest and to be frank, he hadn't really contributed much. He hadn't been able to help at all, and I don't know how long Solomon's going to be out. That's more of a long-term injury, and we don't know when he'll be back. But that's a very big missing piece for this team.
In your opinion, playoffs or do they clean house?
Yes, no. Yeah, those are the 2 choices. They're going to play off or they're going to clean house. But I think this team is I think they're a playoff team. I hadn't written them off yet. I think it's still a little too early. It's a real long season, and so many factors come into it as far as injuries and all that. But I think this team stays healthy, and I think when Rondo comes back, I think this team has playoff potential. I'm not one of the ones who've written them off already.
But if they don't make the playoffs, do you think it's clean house? Or is there a middle ground where, okay, they're fighting for a playoff spot and then everybody gets to come back next year, even if they don't make it?
No, I think if they don't make the playoffs, I think they do clean house. I think that goes without saying. I think the people in the front office even know that. I think they know that, you know, this is it. It's playoffs or bust for this team now. Thank you all.